punch. Even punched our lights out. So you lived it, but you may not have seen it. And these next 3 hours are for you.
Live from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
We have everything taped up. We've been working for days because we know how the storms can be around here.
Isabel strikes. She hasn't made landfall yet, but as the powerful storm moves in closer and closer, we are feeling the effects more and more.
This area is completely washed out right here. You can see how the concrete is lifted up.
The wind is extremely heavy and the rain is sideways. And the rain coupled with the sand that's coming in from the water up here, it almost feels like little stick pins just hitting your skin. It really is very difficult to walk right now at the ocean front.
We're going to see winds of hurricane force build up during the afternoon.
That's a 400-foot-long pier. It's very popular. It's a real landmark along the Virginia Beach coast. It's the only pier there right in the resort area, and about 30 feet of it was lost earlier today.
We've been reporting that the pier here is gone and the winds continue to pick up.
These logs are from Harrison's Pier, and they're floating back over this way.
At least in the early stages, feels like it's going to be a worse storm than Emily was.
Stay where you are on the downwind side of your house, because the winds are still increasing through the area.
I can tell you that I just lost my wavy hat, and it took me weeks to get that from promotion.
It's just going to get worse here at Rudy Inlet. We'll have to check on it later on and see how it's doing.
The gentleman there in the jacket with the yellow hood is our general manager, Ed Munson, who waded out to help. The gentleman without a shirt on is Jeff Becker, one of our assignment editors. As you can see, they're helping the gentleman out of his car. They got him into the station. He's doing fine.
Mandatory evacuations across the area in Hampton Roads.
Right now, Sand Bridge has been evacuated, 85% evacuated.
If you do need to find shelter, now is the time to do it because, as we said, it's really starting to pick up. People have lost power all over the place.
You can hear our coverage on several different radio stations throughout the area. This is probably the last time you'll see me down here because I just think after this it's going to be too dangerous.
At some point, it may become necessary for us to leave this building, but we're going to continue to broadcast.
We are on standby here hoping that nothing happens over where you guys are, but should something happen, we will be ready and we will be on the air throughout the day.
We have a phone bank set up to answer questions. We've got folks from the Red Cross volunteering their valuable time in here for us.
Photographer Walter Hildebrand, he had to carry me out here. Basically, I was airborne coming around the building.
It's 12:30 on Thursday. Best we can tell, the eye of the hurricane is passing over around Ocracoke.
The eye of the storm just now making landfall toward the Ocracoke area. We are getting indications of a tornado somewhere into this area. And again, these are real hard to spot. They're real short-lived and develop real rapidly.
The wind is still going. We are getting a break from the rain at this point.
Getting a cell out here is next to impossible because phone service is down along with electricity.
I just want to say keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right.
And Category 1 conditions most of the time on the Outer Banks. And then we had a Category 1 conditions for the metro area and basically our whole region.
And John, what's your first impressions as you see, especially that site right there, what used to be Harrison's Fishing Pier?
Indeed, Carrie and Don, we took off this morning shortly before sunrise, and we've seen nothing but total devastation.
And if you're just joining us, we're looking at, and if you can't see, we're describing to you the damage, the flooding at Fort Monroe and Hampton right now.
And we're here on Shore Drive. It is down just one lane of traffic because there is so much debris.
There was so much overwash that it washed out the entire area. So there's a brand new inlet between the ocean and the sound side.
Don, you wonder what you're doing today? Well, let me show you what Dominion Power is going to be doing today. This, all day long, getting power back up and online is basically the main priority out here for Virginia or Dominion Power.
It's a shame what's happened to this road as I make my way through down power lines. Just back there was a washing machine in the middle of the road, just debris strewn everywhere.
Well, look at those pine trees that are just landed smack on top of that house. They boarded up, they did everything they could, and yet they're going to have some significant damage to deal with when they return because they have pine trees right on top of their house.
There's an indication of just what extremes people went through to make sure that their watercraft were safe.
And it is safe.
It is safe. It survived, but you can see how many lines he's got tied off. He put it right in the middle of the little small tributary going into the river.
The entire Midtown Tunnel is flooded, and that's why people can't get through.
And take a look at that. That's water that has completely filled the Midtown Tunnel. We're on the Norfolk side. We went over to the Portsmouth side, and it's the same scene on the other location. That tunnel is completely full of water.
All right, everybody take a deep breath. We have been on the air almost continuously as a television station since 5 o'clock yesterday morning.
Yes.
We're now going to return to our regular programming, which begins with NBC Nightly News at 6:30. But once again, we'll be back tonight on Fox 43 News at 10 and Wavy News 10 at 11.
That's going to wrap things up for Wavy News 10 at 6. Thanks for joining us. We will see you tonight at 11. Good night. And what a storm it was. Good evening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us once again. Wavy News 10 was on the air 35.5 hours from Thursday morning on September 18th until Friday evening.
That's right. And for many of us, you only heard us with power knocked out for more than 90% of the area. Battery-powered radios and TVs were the only way to keep up with what was happening.
For the next 3 hours, we're going to show you the images of Isabel that Hampton Roads will not soon forget, while raising money for those whose lives will never be the same.
This is what you come see, ain't it?
We saw it coming, as bad as we knew it could be. We never really thought it would be this bad. Hampton Roads has been brushed by storms before, even hit a few times. We've suffered. Remember all the flooding from Floyd?
Yesterday afternoon, this time, this street was dry. We drove on this street yesterday afternoon.
But not since 1933 has a storm done this to us. A forest of trees down. Not just in one place, every place.
But you can see they really got hit hard right now. We've got damage just about everywhere we look.
People paid attention to the warnings. Most evacuated. Only to come home to no home at all.
Everything's just gone. I have nothing. Nothing.
Damage in Virginia and North Carolina will top $1 billion.
Everywhere you go, you got tree branches blocked off and broke down and everything. I mean, it's blocked everywhere. And you can't get nowhere.
Maybe the costliest storm in Virginia history. Insurance, federal help, and private donations will replace some things. Others, more personal, are gone forever. Entire neighborhoods will never look the same because of Isabel. And because of Isabel, perhaps, we will never feel the same about the threat of hurricanes again.
As we said, the other purpose of this special is to raise money for those hardest hit by Hurricane Isabel.
And Wavy News 10's Carolyn Castleberry joins us now with more on how you can help. Right, Carolyn?
Absolutely. One of the ways you can help is by calling one of our volunteers at the station. 10 on Your Side's also raising money for those hardest hit by Hurricane Isabel. Joining us now is Wavy's Vice President, General Manager Ed Munson. We saw a little bit of a recap of Isabel. When we heard about this, planning was crucial, wasn't it?
Planning was crucial. We started really 3 days out, Carolyn, on planning for this particular event. We had a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Of course, plan A was to stay here in the Portsmouth studios, but unfortunately, we're about 8.5 feet above sea level here, so that as the tide came in and the floodwaters began to come up the storm sewers, which is how they came into to the city of Portsmouth, we had our evacuation plan put together. The people in this building would have moved to the second floor, but unfortunately we would have had to shut the generator off because of safety purposes. So plan B was to move our crew to the Peninsula Bureau in the newsroom of the Daily Press. Those folks there were ready to take over, Derek Wing and Fred Eco and the crew there. And then we even had a plan C, which was to go to our transmitter site, which is in the village of Driver in the city of Suffolk.
And I suppose we would call this Plan D, which is taking it a step further and
Indeed.
really giving back to the community.
That's what the 10 on Your Side mission is all about. These volunteers are taking calls. You can see all of the phones are busy now, so we hope that people will call the 800 number, which we also have, or if they can hang on, we've got 3 hours of exciting video for them tonight.
And it's all about the 10 on your side philosophy, not just reporting the news, but also being a part of the community and contributing.
Absolutely, and the Red Cross has been a great partner in that, and I can't thank the people that actually work here, you, your co-anchors, and the people in the field, and reporters, and the producers, and everybody that pitched in to make this coverage so great, and the people at home are going to be able to see most of that tonight.
Absolutely. Ed Munson, thanks so much for joining us.
Carolyn.
And thanks for your planning, by the way. And you can also send more money in for a copy of the Hurricane Special. It's a $30 donation. You can give us a call on the number on the screen. Once again, all the money goes to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund, and we will be giving you the address a little bit later in this show. Les and Alvita, back to you.
Here's what's coming up on Hurricane Isabel: health, hope, and healing.
I don't want anybody to panic, but this is going to be a real close one per hour area. If you've lived through a hurricane in the past, you've never lived through one like this.
It's home. When it's all you know, you don't leave, man.
It's 12:30 on Thursday. Best we can tell, the eye of the hurricane is passing over around Ocracoke. This is the worst wind we've seen, the worst rain we've seen, the worst flooding we've seen.
The winds where I'm at right now have to be around 70 miles an hour because I'm having a hard time standing. I realize I could die, but if it's by God's grace, you know, goodwill, let me go.
We grew up here, and we're seeing our lives getting washed away.
I was sitting at the kitchen table. That's where I was at. Wind was a-howling. And the tide started coming in, and I couldn't get out. So I just sat right there and rode it out.
What was going through your mind at the time?
Hopefully I'll make it.
Who should decide what human life is worth? Some politicians and insurance companies think they should. They say the loss of your arm is worth $12,000. Loss of an eye, $10,000. A leg, only $30,000. And if they have their way, the loss of life will have a limit too. At Bright Drescher and Prevento, we think human life is priceless, and no loss should have a limit. That's why we have the right to trial by jury. Why would anybody want to change that?
Bright Drescher and Prevento, serious lawyers for serious injuries.
Where's the newest hotspot in Hampton Roads? In your car. Log on to WAVY.com for audio system information from our expert on your side, GoHo Auto Audio. Hear the difference.
Bring your car into Priority Chevrolet, Toyota, or Acura for service and pick it up freshly washed. A clean car every time at Priority Toyota, Chevrolet, and Acura. We put you first.
Life as you know it is about to change. A good bank will help you after the fact. A better bank prepares you for what's ahead. Annual account reviews from RBC Centura. If your money would be better in another account, we'll call and tell you. RBC Centura, building a better bank, one customer at a time.
Whether you need carpet, vinyl, ceramic tile, hardwood, or laminate, visit Eastern Floor Covering. We do it all and we do it right. That's why we're WAVY-TV's expert on your side.
Hi, Jay Bush here at the Old Bush Family Farm to talk about our country-style baked beans. Roll that beautiful bean footage. They're slow-cooked with extra brown sugar and hickory smoked bacon, so the sauce is thicker and the flavor is richer. This secret family recipe is known only to me and my dog, Duke. And I know I can trust him.
Okay, let's start the bidding on the secret family recipe. How about a you in the corner, a lady in the back, a man with a hand.
Duke. Uh-oh. Try Bush's country-style baked beans. Well, I tell you, customers who come in at Freedom say that they like the way that they're treated. I've never seen anybody pressure anybody. I've never seen anybody get an attitude.
Hey, I didn't buy a car that day, but I tell you, when I'm ready, I'm going to go to Freedom to buy my next vehicle. I want people to feel that way.
The customer's apprehension is removed from the beginning. It's a credit to the way that the Freedom dealerships operate.
They just want to come in and talk. Everybody takes the time to talk to them. They like that.
People will say, you know what? You guys are what you say you are. We say that we're a different kind of dealership. Well, we are.
She's found pictures of all of us when we were young children, and the pictures were all just warped and messed up. Even the photo stuff is out of it. Where some of the pictures you can't really make out. And all that's being thrown away, and that's real hard for my mom.
While Isabel was still young, just a depression growing in the tropics, the Super Doppler 10 weather team was watching the storm that would grow up fast.
And Chief Meteorologist Don Slater knew this infant storm could be poised to strike our area, right, Don?
Yes, Albina, it was really in the right place. From past experience, I know that each storm can be quite different. And as we predict their steady progress, it's like a snowball rolling downhill. This is a look at how that snowball rolled right through our area. We're just now, in fact, I'm just, boom, doing it right as I'm going on the air, getting the latest from the National Hurricane Center. This looks like a very big one. I don't want anybody to panic, but this is going to be a real close one for our area. If you've lived through a hurricane in the past, you've never lived through one like this. That was Monday afternoon, as Isabel raged about 700 miles south-southeast of Cape Hatteras. Huge storm, winds near 140 miles an hour, a monster hurricane. A Category 4 storm in the barrel, Hampton Roads in the bullseye, and the Super Doppler 10 weather team in a round-the-clock watch. But really, with the soil being a little bit saturated right now, we see that kind of wind that we're expecting. It could lead to uprooted trees. In other words, trees just falling right on over. The soil isn't strong enough to support it because it's a little bit too swampy.
Lots of heavy rain expected today. Expect the flooding from the rain. And coming up shortly, we're going to discuss the coastal flooding issue, which I'm very concerned about.
Hurricane Category 2, what possible effects? Well, 100-mile-an-hour winds through the area is not unlikely. 110 or better is not unlikely. We would see a storm surge rise in tidal height of about 6 to 8 feet above normal, and then you'd have 15-foot waves on top of that at the ocean front. Now, what would we get to that? We'd get some damage to roofs, doors, and windows, lots of damage to trees, some trees blown down, and considerable damage to mobile homes. Now, we'd also start to see a lot of tidal flooding rolling on in.
And this storm, just at face value, looks a great deal like a lot of storms we've had. So why is this storm so furious? Well, keep in mind that this thing was a Category 4 and also a Category 5 storm at one time.
Taking a look at what's going on with the storm, the latest on the hurricane, still a very respectable hurricane, Category 2 storm, 105-mile-an-hour winds, now moving north-northwestward at 10 miles an hour. At this point, I was really concerned with two possibilities. The amount of trees that Isabel would rip out of the ground with a resulting widespread loss of power, and the possibility of significant tidal flooding. What do you do? Be ready to camp out in your own home. No power. Most of us should not evacuate unless you're told to do so. Now, it's very questionable for coastal residents, the disabled, mobile homeowners. You want to pay attention to this, but the rest of us be prepared to ride it out downstairs and downwind. Now, here's the wind moving on in. You should be away from that wind on the other side of the house and downstairs. Once that wind switches around, you want to be aware of what that's doing as well.
When you find some weakening, we're going to find a period in some time where things begin to get just a little bit calm. Do not go outdoors when this happens. I will tell you this because just shortly after you find that calming, you're going to find more bands coming in behind this eye, and as they do, wind gusts are going to pick up again. We'll experience the hurricane-force winds.
Moving into Wednesday night, Isabel stayed right on forecast track. As you got ready at home, my colleagues and I were here in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center, tracking Isabel across the Atlantic. By the time it gets up into our area, most of our area, it's going to have winds on a Category 1 scale, 75 miles an hour. So not a huge storm in terms of Category 1 wind strength, but it's going to be prolonged. And with that prolonged wind and a wider wind field out of this thing, we could see some more damage, and we could see some more tidal flooding out of this. Now, there could be Category 2, 110-mile-an-hour winds toward the Ocracoke area, southern end of Hatteras Island. Don Slater, Wavy News 10.
When we talked to VEPCO or Dominion Power or whoever, and he said that he's not going to lie to us, that it may be a week, it may be a month. You see, he can't really tell us exactly when we'll get power.
Smart buyers, this is it. Buick Closeout 2003. How about a great new LeSabre? A Consumer's Digest Best Buy, delivering nearly 30 miles per gallon highway. Now get almost $4,000 total cash back on Buick LeSabre models equipped with the luxury of leather-appointed seating. You talk about a smart time to buy, this is it. Get into your Hampton Roads Buick dealer.
Got pine straw? Log on to WAVY.com and ask Starling Guttering how a leaf guard guttering system can eliminate your pine straw problems. Starling Guttering, WAVY-TV's expert on your side.
Do you have questions about your personal finances? If so, log on to WAVY.com and ask the Bank of Hampton Roads, WAVY-TV's financial expert on your side.
The Pontiac Grand Am SE Solid Value is equipped with Performance Shift Automatic, CD player, aluminum wheels, power windows, locks, mirrors, and more. Now get $3,000 total cash back on a new 2004 Grand Am SE Solid Value. Active military personnel get an extra $750 allowance. See your Hampton Roads, Carolina Pontiac dealers.
This weekend, Haynes steps up to the plate with by far the biggest offer ever made in home furnishings. No money down, free delivery, and for the first time ever, no interest till 2006. All furniture, all carpet and rugs, all mattresses. This weekend, Virginia, you deserve to save more money than any customer ever has. Get everything you want with no money down, then we'll deliver it all for free, and then no interest for the next 2.5 years. No interest till 2006. This weekend at Haynes.
Hi, I'm William Walker, and I used to sell satellite dishes. A word of advice if you're thinking about getting one, don't. They were going to charge me $250 for the install, so I figured I'd do it myself. How hard could it be? I used to sell them. To get a signal, I had to put the dish on a pole. Then the wind knocked out the picture. The dish company told me, wait, they'll come back. I got rid of the dish and got digital cable. I don't sell the dish anymore.
Priority proudly welcomes Real Acura to the family. All the good things you'd expect from a Priority dealership, and a couple things you didn't. Priority Toyota, Chevrolet, and Acura, we put you first.
Well, from what I'm seeing now, it really looks pretty good so far up until the next 24 hours. It looks pretty good from what I'm seeing here now. The surface not as really coming up strong as it, but it's coming.
Hatteras has wave 25 feet right now.
Well, that's pretty good and strong. Pretty good and strong.
Well, Hatteras Island would prefer not to be in the eye of the storm.
But most major Atlantic hurricanes that do make landfall hit in North Carolina. The western eye wall of Hurricane Isabel crossed Ocracoke Island, putting Hatteras Village in the dangerous northeast quadrant. And that's where WAVY News 10's Andy Fox and photographer Rob Rizzo weathered the storm.
Monday, September 15th, the Home Depot, Kitty Hawk.
Fast as we get it in, we're unloading it. It's going out.
Isabel's 3 days away. Assistant manager Ken Whitten can't keep plywood in stock.
Yeah. We moved it all. Like I said, I have 7 trucks right now en route from Baltimore, Maryland.
Down the road, P Island, overwash, covering Highway 12, bad sign.
Plastic all over everything, get it as high as I can.
Amir, brand new business, moving merchandise to higher ground. Frisco, Bill Balance, boarding up. Isabel's different than the others.
I'm scared of this. It's the first I've ever been scared of.
Monday, mandatory evacuation, Ocracoke Island, Jim Willis, leaving.
You scared about this one, property-wise?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
You realize you could be affected by it here and then also affected by it in Norfolk?
Well, that's why I'm going home.
Tuesday morning, Hatteras Landing. Everyone's working. John Williams not messing around with this one.
36 years you've lived on this island. How concerned are you about Isabel?
It got my attention. Normally I don't leave. This one I'm going to leave.
Isabel bearing down on Hatteras Island. Chances of no effect, 0%. Tuesday, mandatory evacuation of the Outer Banks. Miranda Kranchuk at 11. Been through a lot of hurricanes.
You gotta fend for yourself. You gotta know where to be when it's happening too. When you're in the wrong spot, you could get messed up.
Take a look at the Rodanthe Pier on Wednesday. You can tell this is going to be a big hurricane. Jay Bowman, Denver resident, waits for Isabel.
Once in a lifetime. It's probably stupid, but I'm here.
Well, I guess it's stupid I'm here too.
7:30 on Thursday morning. Hurricane Isabel still 150 miles away. This is Highway 12 to Hatteras Village. It's washed out. These guys tried to make it. They had to turn around. These are the last minutes of Highway 12 to Hatteras Village. Severe storm surge would do this. Look at Isabel's raw, mean power. No mercy as Isabel stole Highway 12. Isabel ate, chewed, and spit out a new half-mile inlet. Grady Austin turned around.
You've lived through these before.
Oh, yeah.
How's this stacking up, say, compared to Emily?
It's nothing compared to Emily. Was a lot worse than this, that's for sure.
Well, it's not over yet.
Yeah, you're right.
In so many ways, Isabel would be worse than Emily. Dan Rooks turns around. He's at the end of the line.
It's getting up over top of the wheels. It's time to turn around. And I see the ocean coming across the dunes. So I just didn't like it. I might could have got through there, but I got to get back.
There would be no getting back on Highway 12. Let the record show Dan Rooks, one of the last to attempt getting to Hatteras Village on Highway 12. You can see the village in the background already cut off 7:30 Thursday morning. North in Buxton, storm surge taking out the Outer Banks Motel. Doug Doris.
It's home. When it's all you know, you don't leave, man.
Carol Dillon will lose her motel.
But I'm more worried. I got 3 cats in that building. Worried about the cats.
Are you going to try to get them, or are they there?
No, they can go up on a high shelf.
It's 12:30 on Thursday. Best we can tell, the eye of the hurricane is passing over around Ocracoke. This is the worst wind we've seen, the worst rain we've seen, the worst flooding we've seen. This new part of Highway 12 north of Buxton, built in 1999 after Hurricane Dennis, damaged, but nothing compared to this. Highway 12 into Hatteras Village. Demolished, a new half-mile inlet created. I'm Andy Fox with photographer Rob Rizzo. Our report from Hatteras Village coming up in the next hour.
It awes me and it breaks my heart. This don't break my heart, but when I drove through town yesterday and seen the destruction, seen a hotel that used to sit parallel to the ocean, now half of it is parallel to the ocean and the other half is perpendicular to it.
With this computer, you can even edit and burn home movies on DVD.
That'll be great for the stuff we'll shoot on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Oh, where are you going? Rafting.
That's it, Larry. Good job, buddy. Keep
Where's Bo?
Did I mention you can edit stuff out? That'd be good.
Thousands of possibilities. Get yours. Best Buy.
September is clearance month at your Dodge dealers. It's your chance to make 0 down payment, 0 payments for 6 months, and get 0% APR financing or cash allowances up to $5,250, which includes $750 for military personnel. Plus, get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. 0 in on all the savings during September clearance month, now through September 30th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
This year I fell in love again. With the same woman.
The Rolex Day Date and Lady Date Just. The year it takes to make one is nothing compared to the time it takes to deserve one.
Hi, Jay Bush here at the Old Bush Family Farm to talk about our country-style baked beans. Roll that beautiful bean footage. They're slow-cooked with extra brown sugar and hickory smoked bacon, so the sauce is thicker and the flavor is richer. This secret family recipe is known only to me and my dog, Duke. And I know I can trust him.
Okay, let's start the bidding on the secret family recipe. How does have a you in the corners, have a lady in the back, so a man with a hand.
Duke. Uh-oh. Try Bush's country-style baked beans.
You may be hearing, seeing, or reading car ads by some other area dealers who claim they can sell you a new car at a lower price because they buy in factory volume. Hall Nissan wants you to know that every Nissan dealer buys at the same price. That's a fact. That's why Hall Nissan chooses to sell more cars and make less profit per car. It's simple. Hall Nissan will give you our best price the first time, every time. Hall Nissan. It's all about price.
Devastation. You know, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And I've lived here 20 years. And My wife has been here since 1968, and their family is saying the same thing.
The eye of the hurricane may have crossed over Ocracoke and Hatteras, but that didn't mean the northern sections of the Outer Banks were in the clear.
WAVY News 10's Lowell Melser and photographer Aaron Kurtz saw their share of devastation in Kill Devil Hills.
The warnings come early Tuesday morning.
Get out. Pack your stuff and get out. So we're like dragging our heels.
Vacationers in Nags Head, Kill Devil Hills, Kitty Hawk, the entire Outer Banks told to leave. Izzy is on her way. As the 158 bypass becomes congested with traffic, locals begin boarding up before packing up themselves.
We're just going to put some screws in there after we get it all tacked up. And after that, you just hope and pray.
Pray they did, because nobody had any idea what was about to happen. Wednesday now, the day before the storm, its effects lurking in the ocean, and Nags Head resident Pam Patterson begins the foreshadowing.
But I think it's going to be a lot of rebuilding and a lot of heartache, a lot of work.
By late afternoon, police are making final checks on the elderly.
They're just concerned. They said y'all gonna stay here and try to ride it out.
And we're also starting to see some damage like this pool. But this is nothing. Buckle up, things are about to get bumpy. The rain and winds come early. This is Kill Devil Hills on Route 158 at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Just listen to the wind. By daylight, about 7:30 in the morning now, you can tell Isabel is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Look at this in Nags Head.
These waves are coming in right now. It's really, really difficult to explain the intensity of the surf that we're seeing right now.
Destined to get more pictures of damage, photographer Aaron Kurtz and I travel back to Kill Devil Hills. You can see just how hard the wind is blowing and the rain is falling. But we didn't know how bad things were until this.
This area is completely washed out right here. You can see how the concrete is lifted up off of the ground. The winds where I'm at right now have to be around 70 miles an hour because I'm having a hard time standing.
By now, mid-afternoon, shingles are blowing off roofs, lights are swaying. We even found ourselves in a scary situation at our hotel as it begins to fall apart during the storm. Rumors even circulate that media may have to evacuate. Luckily, we're able to stay, but things are going to get much worse. Overhangs on gas stations are starting to collapse. Fast food signs are beating like hearts, and the surf is starting to spill over. Hurricane Isabel is here.
I wish I could show you this, but there's a huge chunk of wood and a huge piece of concrete down here as well. I don't know if Aaron can see that at all. As the waves keep pushing in, they push in more. Look out! Look out! More debris. This is not a safe place for me to be.
Travel during the most dangerous parts of the storm is treacherous, flooding everywhere as well as debris. By nightfall, you got your first glimpse of blue sky transitioning with the dark. Isabel had made her mark, but it wouldn't be until morning, which you'll see in our next hour, that her true power would be felt both physically and emotionally. In Kill Devil Hills with photographer Aaron Kurtz, I'm Lowell Melser, WAVY News 10.
We've all had our, we're calling it our emotional times, and I had mine yesterday and got to see the wife and kids, and that made it all worthwhile, you know.
On every street, in every home, we've given the power to you. The power to choose from hundreds of movies that you can start the moment you're ready and pause the moment you have to. Experience entertainment on demand only on Cox Digital Cable.
The Pontiac Grand Am SE Solid Value is equipped with Performance Shift Automatic, CD player, aluminum wheels, power windows, locks, mirrors, and more. Now get $3,000 total cash back on a new 2004 Grand Am SE Solid Value. Active military personnel get an extra $750 allowance. See your Hampton Roads, Carolina Pontiac dealers.
Oh.
Yeah. Do me a favor, can you...
Wow.
Men.
At McDonald's, we've got what guys want. Like our delicious McPhilly cheesesteak sandwich with a big ol' icy cold Coke and big ol' fries. McPhilly cheesesteak extra value meal. Come on, guys, smile.
What makes ABNB Federal Credit Union better than a bank? Simple. Our members are our owners. Decisions are made locally, and because our resources stay here, our members enjoy low rates on auto and home loans and high returns on savings instruments. Best of all, ABNB has it all. Convenient locations, ATMs, financial counseling, and more. Who can join ABNB? Probably you. Call or stop by today and discover why ABNB Federal Credit Union is truly better than a bank.
If someone tells you the best deal on a new Dodge car is in the newspaper, tell them to cut it out and come to Virginia Beach Dodge and Greenbrier Dodge. Where their ad is our ad. Bring us the lowest price from any newspaper in the country. We'll beat the price or give you $100. Virginia's best prices and biggest selection, from the sporty Neon to the roomy Intrepid, and great prices on used cars and trucks. Virginia Beach Dodge and Greenbrier Dodge, where their ad is our ad.
We were sitting out here on the porch, right? Then this great big storm came through, man. It was like, whoa, man. It was, and then the tree began to lean, right? And man, the tree began to lean, and it just went, and it went all the way down, man. It just lit out of the ground. Whoosh.
You know, during that storm, we had crews camped out all over the area. In Virginia Beach, we had 3.
That's where WAVY News 10's Tracy Moynihan and photographer Walter Hildebrand took the first shift and quickly found out Isabel was nothing to take lightly.
It is intense out here at the boardwalk. It has really picked up out here. We're at a point where it's even hard for us to walk. The wind is intense, the surf is intense, the sand you can see is coming up on the boardwalk. This way, I want to take you out to the surf over here. We've been covering this all morning. Photographer Walter Hildebrand and I having a hard time holding on here. We're going to go right out to the surf if we can. You can see it is coming up. We're close to Rudy Inlet. The waves are crashing over there. People have been coming out sporadically, looking out, but basically as soon as they're coming out, they are heading back in.
WAVY News 10's Ava Hurdle and photographer Dave Bennett were at the southeast end of Sandbridge, and reporter Patty Culhane and chief photographer Jeff Myers rode out the storm at the resort area. And yes, those areas were under a mandatory evacuation order, but as the day went on, our crews found out they weren't alone out there.
As the sun came up and the sand started blowing like snow, it was clear from the ocean front Isabel was on the way. For some, an apparent reason to rejoice, as if you needed a reason to skip down the boardwalk. This guy was just hamming it up for the cameras. He wouldn't be pretending for long.
No, this is nothing.
Photographer Jeff Myers was right. This was just the beginning. 20-foot waves splintered this solid wood pier, and as the nail-coated pilings rushed onto the beach, thrill seekers were standing in Isabel's way as foam from torn-up surf covered the seawall.
Yeah, I realize I could die, but if it's by God's great way, goodwill, let me go.
The storm wasn't close to letting go of Hampton Roads. The lights eventually went out. Some went down.
But siding just slid down Atlantic Avenue. The buildings are starting to come apart. We've seen a lot of siding, some metal piping, and here's why. I'm going to walk out here. It hits you the minute you walk out here, and it's hard to stand at this point. It's nearly impossible to walk, and this is what we're dealing with. They say this isn't even the worst of it.
Police did what they could to clear people off the beach. On the street, the fire trucks weren't alone. Isabel had her very own tourists. Just look at this guy. The pier is breaking apart, waves are crashing over it, and he runs out for a picture. In all of this, they all survived.
Do you have any idea how dangerous this is?
Extremely. It's very dangerous, but it's the thrill, the winds. We don't get this all the time.
You know, everybody complaining about how strong this is, and yeah, it's going to do a lot of damage, but sometimes you got to have fun even in a bad situation.
How bad was the situation? Well, as the sun came up on the next day, the pier in pieces, the beach moved around, but still there. The damage was evident. Walls were missing, signs splattered everywhere. Time had passed, proving this area was battered, but still hanging on.
Lucky, very lucky. That's how we fared.
I'm still alive. I'm not paralyzed. I can handle this, you know.
Leaving people just one day later still able to look at this sign and believe what it says and what it stands for. From the oceanfront in Virginia Beach, Patty Culhane, WAVY News 10.
This is Ava Hurdle in Sandbridge, where higher than normal seas whipped into a white foamy frenzy as Isabel started to blow. Sand Fiddler Road, the ocean road, became just that as the angry Atlantic came through sand dunes rushing by. Homeowner Tom Mister is one of the few who decided to stay, coping with no power but getting by with food and flashlights on hand.
I've been through Bonnie, and it should be about the same, I figure. You know, they're making it sound a little worse than it might be, but I have also I have my business here and everything, and I just want to do damage control to keep the rain out mainly. If the worst thing happened is the roof blow off.
Photographer Dave Bennett and me were worried about getting blown away as the wind kicked up a notch and Isabel drew closer. As you can see again, there it is, the waves coming in, very strong, very intense. Right here on this side road here, Porpoise Lane, you can see still more ocean overwash on the road, just coming down, full of foam, whipped up by these winds, high winds out here, and rain. That's the situation out here in Sandbridge. Some of the roads are covered, especially the beach road here. Sand Fiddler Road is covered in sand, ocean overwash as well. Hardly impassable. We tried to get through with our live van. The problem we had was that the wires are so low in some places that we couldn't take our mast underneath, even with the mast down on the truck. We just had to be really careful trying to protect our equipment. That's why we're not any more closer to the ocean than we are, trying to do just that, to bring you these pictures. Again, we'll go back to the ocean just to show you again the angry seas, the angry Atlantic at this time, as Isabel is knocking on the door at Sandbridge. A couple wanting an up-close and personal view of Isabel's visit didn't leave disappointed.
Been here 27 years, been through a number of storms, and no, we've not seen this before.
Homeowner Tom Frame evacuated but returned for a quick check on his property.
The surge, I think, is the biggest problem. I haven't seen the water coming across the dune line. I haven't seen the significant wave break on the oceanfront properties that we're seeing right now. If we get this for another 2 or 3 hours, we have serious problems here.
Raging seas, high winds, and heavy rain caused rapid flooding and concerns for Sandbridge Dunes condominium developer Bobby Nellen, whose project is nearing completion.
Well, we took extra precautions earlier in the week to make sure that we tied down everything, and so far so good. Thankfully, we haven't had the strong winds that they were predicting, but I wouldn't want to see any stronger than what we have right now. But it's a steel structure, concrete, and yeah, we're looking really good.
Boarded up homes weathered the storm, but a set of stairs looks lost in the road as ocean water rushes by. In Sandbridge, Ava Hurdle, WAVY News 10. Then when the tree fell, where were you?
I was standing right there on the corner, and I seen it lean back, lean back, lean, and the tide water was up, and she finally bubbled, and when she bubbled, I knew she was going to holler for the wife to get out back and get to the back of the house.
And when she went, what did it sound like?
Loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Futon King declares the 12th annual Futon Frenzy Sale in Virginia Beach,
Chimney Hill,
and Chesapeake.
North Battlefield Boulevard.
Largest selection and lowest prices. Check this. Hurry, 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 the 12th annual Futon Frenzy Sale.
With large selections and the lowest prices.
I'll guarantee it.
Just make that your one-stop shop at the Futon King. We do.
Some people still don't understand Priority Plus, so I'm going to try to explain it a little better.
Oil changes and filters.
No charge.
Tire rotations.
Not a cent.
Belts, hoses, and so on.
Nada. Zero.
Virginia state inspections for life.
Zilch.
All factory recommended maintenance and service for 2 years with 24,000 miles.
Keep your money.
Priority Plus at Priority Toyota, Chevrolet, and Acura. We put you first.
Hi, I'm William Walker, and I used to sell satellite dishes. A word of advice if you're thinking about getting one, don't. They were going to charge me $250 for the install, so I figured I'd do it myself. How hard could it be? I used to sell them. To get a signal, I had to put the dish on a pole. Then the wind knocked out the picture. The dish company told me, wait, they'll come back. I got rid of the dish and got digital cable. I don't sell the dish anymore.
So you're stuck behind somebody's grandfather, driving under the speed limit. You get angry, you get anxious, shouting something about he has no place to go. You see, that's where you're wrong. Not only does he know where he's going, he's already been where you are. The elderly have a lot they can teach us if we just take the time to learn. So the next time you get slowed down by someone wiser than you, pay attention to the message. Stop rushing through life. Downshift a little so you can enjoy it.
When you find out that the Accord EXV6 has a 240 horsepower engine, an available voice-activated navigation system, XM satellite radio, and heated leather seats, you may see the Accord in a whole new light. The Accord EXV6 for 2004 from Honda.
Are you worried?
About what?
Being in the condo, or you think the wind coming up?
Shucks. The wind won't have a bit of effect on my house. Willoughby is a different story. Willoughby's on the edge. We're in the middle, and we live in a massive building which is made of heavy-duty concrete. So I'm not the least bit concerned, and I hope no one else is either.
When Hurricane Isabel made landfall, she brought the sea with her, causing big problems for anyone living on the water.
And WAVY News 10's Shannon Powell shows us what it was like for folks riding out the storm in the Ocean View section of Norfolk.
It's lovely. It's perfect.
But it's the day before Isabel, and to many checking out Ocean View, it feels like she's a-comin'.
Most of the people throughout the regional Hampton area is really praying for that this Isabel will go out to sea.
By Thursday morning, it was clear Isabel was headed our way. If the high winds weren't a sign, then boarded up stores and locked up businesses made you think something was wrong. But curiosity made many ignore the signs.
I came down to take a look at the storm.
He threw caution to the wind until the winds picked up and really started to blow, something WAVY News 10's Rona Williams barely stood up to.
Now, if the worst is yet to come, this Hurricane Isabel is certainly a force to be reckoned with. Certainly, I would advise staying in. Just use common sense. The wind is certainly picking up out here.
Obviously, these teams did not hear her warning. The fact that you could lean backward or forward and the wind would hold you up or just sweep you away, too tempting not to try. By noon, Isabel was no longer fun and games.
The winds are unbelievable. I'm standing beside a building because I can't actually stand out there without actually being blown away. Me or the photographer who I'm working with, Mike Aiken, we're both struggling just to stand up around here.
Oh, it's treacherous. Like I say, I've been here 27 years. I've never seen nothing like it.
Isabel had blown her top in Ocean View, ripping down power lines, pulling on traffic lights, and blowing off bricks. She washed away Harrison's Pier in pieces.
We grew up here, and we're seeing our lives getting washed away.
Isabel pushed water out of the bay onto the streets of Ocean View.
You can see, this is Ocean View Avenue, right by 4th View Street. It's a lake out there. There were cars on the other side of the Econo Lodge.
It was unbelievable, at least to me. But seeing water rise to waist deep made it believable. This was not the weather to go riding a bike in, but this guy for some reason thought he could actually ride down the street. The one thing that showed just how kind people are, a rescue in this weather.
Out here with my boy just watching the storm roll in. Seen a bird about 30 yards offshore. He couldn't get up out of the water, so I followed him on down the beach. He flies a little bit. The waves and the wind are just crashing them all up onto the beach. So.
The Pelican survived the storm, just like Ocean View, with a few bumps and scrapes. In Ocean View, Shannon Powell, WAVY News 10.
And many areas of the peninsula were under mandatory evacuation orders before Hurricane Isabel hit.
And when the storm did make its way there, it was intense. Buckrow Beach took a real beating, as WAVY News 10 photojournalist Art Kahn shows us with these dramatic images.
Oh, I've never seen anything this bad. This is like my 4th hurricane here, and I've never seen anything this bad.
We're kind of awestruck sitting here with the amount of waves. The Buckrow Pier's been here forever and a day, and that's just melting away. And it's pretty impressive what Mother Nature can throw at you sometimes.
Trees are down everywhere. There's leaves and everything. Power's out all over. So it's crazy.
The National Hurricane Center in Miami says Isabel's top sustained winds eased to 100 miles per hour as it neared land.
I really don't.
Going to find shelter. Somewhere else.
I've never been flooded before. I've never been to nothing like this before. It's my first time, but I don't want to take no chances. So I said, me and my kids have to get somewhere safe because it's very important. Whatever, how long it takes for us to be safe, we'll just stay here.
The wind was picking up by the waterfront, and down by the water is about I'd say about 2 feet before it started going in the road. So the storm ain't even here yet when I said it's time to go.
Tall pine. She's got some big pines in the back of her yard, and it fell right across the roof and caved most of her attic in. You know, all the trusses are broke up and knocked a couple big holes in the ceiling. So.
Thing is, we're sitting out here on the porch, right? Then this great big storm came through, man. It was like, whoa, man. It was, and then the tree began to lean, right? And man, the tree began to lean, and it just went, and it went all the way down, man. It just lit out of the ground. Whoosh.
Well, the tree just kept swaying back and forth, and then it went. I was sitting in my chair in there watching it, hoping that it didn't come to my living room.
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe I need to get out of here.
No, I don't run. I don't see where it's necessary to run because I could run and something could happen to me down the road, you know?
How long did it take for the water to get this high?
Didn't take long once it hit the bridge. The bridge on Mercury Boulevard. Once it hit that, it was pretty much a done deal.
And how's everybody doing in there? Why are you coming out like you did just now?
Well, I live right the 4th house down. I just went back to check on it, but it's underwater. The whole neighborhood's underwater.
I'm sure you were expecting a lot of wind and rain and some flooding. Were you expecting this?
No, I had no idea. No idea.
What's next for you now?
Go back to work and start all over, I guess.
Mom, I'd like you to meet...
What are your intentions towards my daughter?
We're just...
Tell me about yourself. Where do you work?
Geeks on Call.
Never heard of it.
Geeks on Call comes directly to your home or business to fix your computer problems.
Do you do repairs?
Absolutely.
Upgrades?
Definitely.
Install a network?
You bet.
One-on-one training?
No problemo.
You're okay in my book. Welcome to the family.
But it's only our first fee.
Geeks on Call comes to you, 1-800-905-GEEK.
September is clearance month at your Dodge dealers. It's your chance to make 0 down payment, 0 payments for 6 months, And get 0% APR financing or cash allowances up to $5,250, which includes $750 for military personnel. Plus, get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Zero in on all the savings during September clearance month, now through September 30th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
My credit union is making my life easier. My credit union is improving the way I live.
My credit union is growing with me.
My credit union helped me buy a boat and a little something to pull it with.
First Advantage Federal Credit Union. Make our credit union yours.
Where can you find all your seafood favorites in one big combo? Only in the boatload of seafood at Long John Silver's. Mounds of all the seafood you love piled high and deep. Our famous batter-dipped fish and 2 kinds of shrimp. Mouth-watering batter-dipped shrimp and irresistible crunchy shrimp. Get our extra-large combo, overflowing with hush puppies, fries, and a drink for an incredible $3.99. So get all 3 of your Long John Silver's seafood favorites all in one big combo. The boatload of seafood at Long John Silver's. Seafood the way it ought to be.
Priority proudly welcomes Riddle Acura to the family. Same good things that made Riddle one of America's top Acura dealerships. But we're adding Priority's legendary customer service. Innovations like free manicures on Wednesdays and Priority Plus. 2 years of 24,000 miles, factory service and maintenance included. Priority Toyota, Chevrolet, and now Priority Acura. We put you first. Sorry, Mr. Riddle, she's part of the deal.
As we told you earlier, 10 on Your Side is also raising money for those hardest hit by Hurricane Isabel. You can see our total so far, $5,000. Fantastic. Again, all going to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. Joining us now, we have some very special guests with the Walmart Foundation, including Walmart and Sam's Club. We have Kevin Morrell, Sam's Club General Manager, and Brian Kraft, Walmart James City County Distribution Center General Manager. And we also have Joe McQueen, the Walmart District Manager. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. And you have a special gift, don't you?
Yes, we're glad to be here. We would like to present to the Red Cross $50,000.
$50,000. Fantastic. What got you so involved?
Well, we saw the need in the community, and of course the community has been very supportive of Walmart, Sam's Club, and we have people that work in the area at our distribution center. So we saw the need, and we felt that we need to be a part of it.
And you really did see the need on a very personal level, didn't you? Because
yes.
People started streaming into your stores in incredible numbers, didn't they? You were telling me about this.
Yes, they did. We lost power, but however, we did have some emergency lighting, and customers came in, and we felt that we need to take care of them in the time of need.
Absolutely. And why do you feel it's so important to be a part of the community and to reach out this way?
Well, we live here too, and living in the community and being a part of the community, and the community is the reason we're here.
$50,000. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On behalf of 10 on Your Side and the American Red Cross. We appreciate it.
Well, we're glad to be a part of it.
Okay, and if you would also like to donate, you can do so with the address on the screen, once again, in the American Red Cross, and you can make checks payable to the Disaster Relief Fund. We'll have more in just a few moments.
Why is the one-piece seamless design of leaf guard gutters better than the multi-piece systems or leaf shedding covers? Log on to WAVY.com and ask Starling Guttering, WAVY-TV's expert on your side.
Hi, I'm Don Comer. No matter where you live, there's a new car dealership close by. So which one should you choose? Why not Don Comer Ford in Portsmouth, where making our customers happy again and again isn't something we just talk about, it's something we do. To Don Comer customers, satisfaction means that the best price and the best service are only the beginning.
I want wireless that makes sense.
I want the most minutes where I use them the most. I want roaming.
I want roaming and nationwide long distance.
I want to talk to who I want, when I want.
From here, there, anywhere.
Intelos introduces Home Free, the wireless plans you want.
like unlimited calling on our entire network with free long distance and 200 nationwide roaming minutes for just $49.99. So you're home free with Intellos.
Here's a look at Super Doppler 10. We want to key in on some of these areas.
Oh, it's okay, honey. It's just a thunderstorm. It'll be over soon. It's going right over.
I'll show you exactly where it is, just south of the Princess Anne Road area, and it's expected to move eastward. As it moves eastward, conditions should improve through the area.
Reassurance when you need it. Super Doppler 10. Get all the information you need on Hurricane Isabel from WAVY.com.